Oh my God, you guys, Hermès' price increase goes into effect tomorrow, May 1st. Let's talk about it. This is a longer version of the video I posted a while ago. Due to tariffs in the US, the price increase is going to happen only in the US. We're going to read the article, the whole article. It's very long. I'm going to try to talk as fast as I can, but also make it comprehensible. Thank you as always to Perspot for the article. She launched it first. Okay, let's hope your essay gets in touch with you before May 1st. Yes, try to get it back before then because the price increases. Because the Birkin offer is about to get more expensive, at least in the US, as Hermes announced with its Q1 2025 results. The French house will raise prices stateside next month to offset the latest round of US imposed tariffs. I believe it's a 5% increase. We can talk about that in a different video. Despite the challenges of a cooling luxury market, yes, Hermes has continued to show solid growth. Yes, revenues for Q1 2025 rose 7% at constant exchange rate, 9% at current, reaching $4.1 billion. A solid performance in the face of global uncertainties, yes, and a challenging comparison period from last year. This growth stands in contrast in some of Hermes' competitors like LVMH, who reported a slip in sales last week, further underscoring Hermes' resilience in uncertain times. Yes. Okay, Axel Dumas, executive chairman of Hermes, stated, in a complex geopolitical and economic context, the house is strengthening its fundamentals more than ever. Uncompromising quality, creativity at the heart of all development, and vertical integration. A guarantee of preserving unique savoir-faire. Despite a high comparison basis in the first quarter, the group achieved solid growth rate in sales thanks to the trust of the customers and the commitment of the teams, who I thank warmly. Yes, Hermes is doing a lot better than it should, even with all the tariffs, even with everything going on, even with all the China news, even with all the fake news. Oh, I had more time to read that. Oh, well. We can make up time later. Look at that beautiful Kelly in Paris. Okay. All geographical and continued growth, recorded growth, which Hermes claims evidences in resilience even as the broader market conditions show signs of slowing. In Europe, France saw a 14.2% increase, and Europe, excluding France, rose by 12%, bringing total European to 13.3%. That's huge. America posted solid 11% growth following exceptional performance in Q4 2024. However, the beginning of the year saw a slower start due to weather-related disruptions. Wildfires in Los Angeles, yes, that sucked, led to temporary store closures in Beverly Hills and Topanga, while low stock levels in the U.S. further impacted the early months. Despite this, March saw a significant rebound as stock was replenished and momentum continued across both coasts. Strong performances recorded in all divisions, reinforcing the region's growth. Looking ahead, Hermes plans to expand its presence with 2 new store openings in Phoenix and Nashville in the second half of the year. Congrats. And of course, there's the question of tariffs. More on that later. In Asia, Japan delivered strong growth of 17%, while Asia Pacific, excluding Japan, rose by just 1%. Sad. Despite a particularly high comparison basis and downturn in traffic in Greater China, Asia's sales were supported by loyal local clientele. Notable store openings in Taiwan and Thailand reopened in March following an expansion, blah, 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 helped positive sales in the region. Despite some challenges in Greater China, Hermes noted that sales were flat compared to Q1 2024, which is high comparative due to last year's strong Chinese New Year performance. Hermes acknowledged a slight drop in tourism, but emphasized that the overall performance was solid given the circumstances. While growth in Asia Pacific, excluding Japan, has slowed, the region remained an important focus for the brand. Amid the current social media buzz, which is what we've talked about particularly on platforms like TikTok, about the origins of luxury-backed production, not true. Hermes assured that there have been no changes in consumer behavior in China. Good. The rumors surrounding dupes and the authenticity of luxury items have gained attention online. Yes, they have. But Hermes emphasized that no significant shifts in consumer perception, great, or behavior in China, great, have been noted. I missed the rest of that. As for Hermes, métiers, nearly all categories showed solid growth, though not all escaped the broader slowdown. The leather goods and saddlery division, which remains Hermes' biggest revenue driver, rose 10% at constant exchange rates. Growth was powered by continued strong demand and new additions to the collection, including the Midor and Mousquetin bags. Whatever. They're okay. Hermes also continued investing in production capacity with its 24th leather workshop in Paris is set aside to open in this year, and 2 more sites scheduled for 26 and 27. 24 leather workshops make all the bags. Ready-to-wear and accessories gained 7%, supported by well-received autumn-winter 2025 runway shows, both in Paris for both women wear and menswear. The silk and textiles division grew by 5% thanks to creative innovation across formats and materials that energize both women and men's offerings. The other Hermes sector is driven by strong jewelry performance, and the debut of the new Hermes En Contrepoint porcelain collection rose 6%. On a less positive note, Hermes' watch and beauty divisions both experienced declines. The watch métier saw a significant 10% drop in revenues. Their watches are okay, amidst a still challenging market environment, and there are other watches that are better. Despite this, Hermes continued to enrich its offerings, unveiling new versions of the Hermes H08 and the Arcode Le Temps Voyager, as well as 2 new expressions of its iconic Le Temps Suspendu collection at the Geneva Watch and Wonders exhibition. Maybe they'll do better. Meanwhile, the perfume and beauty category posted a slight decline of 0.5%, reflecting blah, 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 blah. What Hermes said on tariffs. This is what it's about. While Hermes' results were solid, attention naturally turned to tariffs, a key concern across the luxury sector. Eric Blababa, Executive Vice President of Finance, has addressed the U.S. tariff situation in depth during a Q&A session following Q1 financial presentation, offering cautious but clear insight on how Hermes is responding. Notably, since April 9th, the U.S. has imposed an additional 10% on tariffs on EU imports, including the Hermes products sold in the United States. To offset the impact of this additional tariff, said Hermes will be raising prices in the US across all divisions starting May 1st. That's what it's about. This should be no surprise since when announcing the 2024 financial results in February, Hermès CEO indicated the initial US tariffs would be passed on to purchasers. As for the exact level and price increase, he did not disclose the actual amount, but I think it's 5% now. We know that. Saying the numbers are being finalized importantly, and before the U.S. customers panic, a 10% tariff does not necessarily mean a 10% price increase. Tariffs are assessed based on FOB or freight on board, not retail price, which I think is 50% of the retail price. Why it's the 5%. As previously explained by tariff expert and attorney Charles, half of retail pricing, though it's complicated and negotiated computation. These price increases will affect only the U.S. market. The sum of this paragraph is basically price increases are only going to affect the U.S. market, and everywhere else is not going to be changed, okay? Basically, there's a wholesale price from France, and it only is going to affect U.S. Looking ahead to 2025 outlook, oh, look at that giant Birkin. Beautiful, Birkin boy. Okay, whatever. Now I have that. Beyond the new tariffs and challenges, Hermès remains cautiously optimistic, targeting single-digit growth for 2025 while staying aligned with its ambitious goals and mindful of geopolitical uncertainties. The company plans to expand its workforce by an additional 1,000 to 1,500 employees, focusing on production to meet the increasing demand driven by its expanding leather goods workshops. Hermès also notes that while some of its competitors are facing difficulties, its continued investment in capacity, talent, and craftsmanship positions it well to help with the navigating landscape. Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't read. I was trying to read this fast enough. Hope that helps. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Price increase tomorrow. Go get your bag if you can't by tomorrow. Go get it by tomorrow. It's the end.